Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is the great and powerful Zilla. First of all, rumors of my demise are exaggerated. I have not been on. I've had medical difficulties. I'm going into a major surgery later on this month, so bear with me. I'm going to do the best I can with what I have available when my brain works correctly. As it is right now, it's working correctly. Sometimes it doesn't, and I forget everything. Anyway, be that as it may, there's a bunch of changes and new stuff in the game. First and foremost, they have had the early access Russian cruisers now for, what, a month? Okay, well, now they're on the tech tree and you can get them. The Tallinn, the Riga, and Petropavlovsk. Okay, these are completely make believe cruisers, they never actually existed in the game. But they're splitting them up to be heavy cruisers and light cruisers. Whereas if you have played the Nevsky like I have, it certainly doesn't act like a light cruiser. Anyway, also added into the game are early access German aircraft carriers. Now, anybody who's a student of any history knows this is complete nonsense. It is absolutely made up. Okay? But they're putting them in anyway. Okay? So, you're going to have the Rhine, the Weser, A. Parseval, and the Richthofen. All right? So, you're going to have these as your German aircraft carriers at their various tiers. You have early access to them if you complete this set of directives here, which seem pretty straightforward and simple to do. You know, spot 12 torpedoes, 200 main batteries, etc. on down the line. Okay? So if you complete these, you get early access to the German aircraft carriers. If you consider this, had Germany actually had aircraft carriers at the beginning of 1939 when they started war in September of 39, I would have given them about a year before they were all sunk or damaged. I'm serious. They had no chance with the Kriegsmarine as it was. You had a few exploits. The Graf Spee, you had the Bismarck's run, which was the first and last cruise of that ship. You also had the U-boats out in the Atlantic. But the Germans would have been annihilated if you don't believe that the Admiralty in Britain would not have prioritized Coastal Command to take out these ships, or Bomber Command to take out their ports. You're out of your mind. These ships would have been annihilated. They would have stood no chance. I mean, look at the Tirpitz. As beautiful as the ship is, it sat in a fjord in Norway. It couldn't move. And it was constantly being bombed. God knows how many lives the British lost trying to bomb the Tirpitz out of existence. And they still couldn't do it until the end of the war, when they dropped Tallboy on the darn thing. Okay? So, yeah. Okay? As far as German aircraft carriers go, yeah, it's cute. It's a selling point and whatnot. But honestly, they never, ever, ever, ever could have existed. There were only one was ever built, and that was the hull of the Graf Zeppelin. None of them were ever actually built. So please bear that in mind when you look at this stuff. It's make believe, okay? So again, you have these directives to do. You guys are no doubt by now aware that they changed the interface and the way the interface works on this stuff in your combat missions and whatnot. If it confuses you a little bit, it would not surprise me one bit because a lot of my friends have been confused too. So you still have the dockyard going on, which at least they were upfront on this time, saying that if you want the Odin, you're going to have to spend money. They weren't hiding it like they did with the Puerto Rico. They were upfront about it. Some of the missions are still just as redonkulous as the ones for the Puerto Rico. But everybody should be able to, if you play a few hours every day, you should be able to get to the Graf Spee, which if you already have it in your port, it gives you the camouflage and 7 million credits. If you did not have it, it gives you the Graf Spee, all right, the pocket battleship. There were 3 of these built, Lützow, Deutschland, and the Graf Spee. So yeah, you can get, see the neatness here and all that. Okay, you can get that stuff in the game. Okay, so that's what's going on in the game right now. If soon as I manage, if I manage to get a hold of one of these German aircraft carriers, I will certainly put up a video on it and show you what it can do. My understanding is almost everything they have is armor piercing, which should be good against cruisers and battleships, but we'll see. Okay, they've added a few more ships to the game that have high anti-aircraft values, so I'm not quite sure how that would work with the carriers and whatnot and what they're doing. But I will tell you that I've had some successful games on my carriers. But sometimes you go in with a squadron of bombers and they just get annihilated before they even make a run on the target. So that remains to be seen. So we'll see how the German planes react. The one video I did see had them rocking Messerschmitt Bf 110s. Let's be honest, folks. Those aircraft could never take off the deck of any aircraft carrier. They required too long of a runway to get airborne. So a lot of this just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. All right, but it's in the game, so we'll see what we got. They removed the submarines. They removed the submarine captains. I expect to see them back and expect to see them in random battles. But for the time being, we're left with the new Soviet cruiser line, which looks very, very good. And we're also looking at the German aircraft carrier line, which I have not even delved into yet. So I'll leave you with that note, folks. In the meantime, you guys be good to each other in this crazy, crazy world. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye.